Today is Thursday, January the 2nd, 2025, and welcome to episode 126 of Rural Reliance with Canny Couple. I'm Julia.
I'm Aaron.
We are a small homestead family in rural Virginia that work every single day to merge homesteading and frugality. And today we want to talk about 2024 and what we're doing in 2025 on the homestead and frugally. But before we do that, I guess we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Where have we been? Because we've not been around.
Yeah. Definitely not been putting out as much content probably since Thanksgiving or before.
Yeah, probably right before Thanksgiving, and it's my fault. I have had something going on medically that we've been trying to figure out what's going on, and we're not quite sure what's happening. I'm okay. So before anybody freaks out, I'm okay. As far as we know, we're not quite sure what's going on. All my tests are coming back great. Nothing's wrong with me according to the test. But we know something's wrong.
Right.
And by the time it's time to actually do our content, I'm not actually physically able to do content.
Right.
So we do apologize. We are sorry, and we are working on a better system to make sure we can do content. We want to make sure we can share with you all, inspire you and help you get to your goals, because we've reached ours and we want to help other homesteaders, other frugal people really get to their, financial homesteading frugal goals. That's our dream.
Mm-hmm.
That really is. But that's where we have been. It's, it's kind of been what it is, kind of been worn down. Like as the day starts, some days I'm really okay, but by the end of the day, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down for the count. So, 2024.
Yeah, let's talk about some of our goals, what we achieved there, and then we'll go into 2025, what some of our goals are there.
I feel like 2024 was a learning year for us.
It really was.
Well, the big thing in 2024 was I came home.
We went down to one income.
I came home.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped a lot.
It helped a lot, but we set some lofty goals that
on the homestead that didn't happen.
On the homestead and side hustle was.
And side hustle that didn't happen.
Right.
That didn't happen. I think a lot of things for that didn't happen had a lot to do with the current environment we are in. A lot of things like that. There's a lot of things going on in the world. A lot of people are struggling. It just there's not a lot of excess cash going around right now.
Right.
But I think we learned a lot, and I think what we learned is we need a more maintenance-free homestead.
Yes.
That's our biggest takeaway from last year.
Well, it is. I mean, because where we got behind the year before, 90% of your time
was spent
on catching up
and trying to stay up.
Trying to stay ahead just on maintenance.
And you were like, you can't. And I'm like, but I have to. And you're like, but you can't.
Right. Yeah.
That was like a constant, disagreement we had. You're like, but all this other stuff. And I'm like, all this other stuff, if we let this fall behind, we're back to where we were.
Right. You're
like, well, crap. We will be back to where we were. So we've really made that decision that we've got to we've got to become more maintenance free. We've really got to get hands off in our homestead as much as possible. That's got to be one of the things. Harvest time. And this is the first year it's really has done this. But this is our first year we've had such a large harvest on berries and all the crops.
It was more everything but squash.
Everything but squash. Ate up so much of our time.
Each day was at least
an
hour picking.
At least an hour picking in the evening.
Yeah.
So it was a long hour of picking, because you have to plan it because of the heat. So you can't do it during the hot part of the day. So you have to plan it around the hot part of the day. So it was at least an hour of picking and multiple buckets worth of picking.
And this went from the end of May up until August.
Up until August. And we stopped picking gojies.
Yeah.
We stopped picking gojies. I mean, we could probably pick gojies, gosh, up until a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
In all reality.
There are probably some still there.
There probably still are some still there. You got to go dig up a goji here in a couple days. He will give you an update as if there are gojis. He'll do short. Are there gojis? And in January on this goji bush that never stops producing. We also have to do a better job of planting, especially for our apple trees. We didn't get the apples we wanted this year, and I'm not even joking. For my little one, I have to have apples on hand. I have to have a jar a week, minimum.
Yep.
Minimum. I want 2 jars a week.
Mm-hmm.
That is my goal. So for 2 jars a week, that is, I'm sorry, I cannot do the math right now. You do the math. 2 jars.
2 jars a week
is
52 weeks.
That's 104.
That's 104. Yeah.
104 jars. Sorry, cannot do that on the fly right now. 104 jars a week of apples that I need to have on hand. I'd like to have a little bit more. That's just for her.
Yeah.
That is just for her because she is an apple girl. Just this evening, we were making applesauce.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she says, I want something to eat. I'm like, okay, what do you want? Do you want apples? Do you want applesauce? Let's go make applesauce. So we go in there, we make applesauce, and it took her less time to eat the applesauce than it took for me to make her the applesauce.
Yeah.
But she likes it, and she loves it, and they're from our trees, and I can't ask for anything better, and it's a labor of love.
Right.
So it's worth it for us. So we've got to do a better job planning, making sure we're maximizing our harvest from there because we really did miss it this year. This year we did get a picker and we are looking to invest in a better picking ladder. Aaron has been looking around for one.
Yeah, one of the orchard ladders, the tripod ones.
Those trees are just so massive. They're just so massive it doesn't make sense because we can't get into the actual tree itself. So he's been looking into that. We've moved forward on the homestead. We made a lot of progress on the homestead, but we didn't make as much progress as we wanted to on the homestead. Right. We didn't get as much done as we wanted to. Felt like we got out of like a full-on out maintenance. We got through a lot of the things that we fell behind on years before.
But we didn't make any progress.
We didn't make progress. So this year it's going to be all about making progress. Now, financially, we learned we can make it on one income.
Very good.
Very well. Yeah, we can thrive on one income. And we can save on one income. And we can do really well on one income. So that was eye-opening for us because we were worried. We were very worried. Aaron learned that I'm very good at a grocery budget.
Yes.
If you give me a number and a goal, I can do it. We learned that a weekly budget meeting is essential to staying on top of your budget.
I mean, it is. It's one of the key factors that has helped us this year.
It was. It helped us. It kept us on budget, and we did so well this year. So I cannot even begin to explain how well we did on our budget. We learned I need Aaron more on the homestead to help with maintenance. I tried. I tried. But right now, in my season, I need him. And I don't just need him, but I'm probably going to need a couple of other hands to help get us out of a maintenance mode and into a hands-free mode. So we're going to have to pull in some hands to help get us out of there. And also, we've been talking about investing in a couple of tools. We're going to have to make those investments. We have the cash already set aside. It's just actually making the purchases of what we want to make. And we really learned that we cannot make super huge goals right now. We made huge goals. And we have made huge goals every year. And I feel like every year we kind of fall on our face.
Yeah. Because we go
Too big.
Too big.
Too big, too hard, too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not doing that. We're doing 2025 a little different. We are narrowing down our focus.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to do 2025 a little different? First, what we're doing is we're focusing on quarters. We're looking at it in 3 month segments. So right now we're looking at January, February, March. It's what we are focusing on. See, these are 3 months, so we are really looking to kind of hit hard and start making progress in.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the 3 months that we have some goals we want to hit. Now, I'm not expecting us to get these goals completely done. At least one of them is not going to be completely done, but I'm expecting to get part of the way, half of the way, and one of them is going to be weather dependent. Pretty much, it's going to be weather dependent, but some of them we're going to be able to get done. Mm-hmm. Most of them we're going to be able to get done. So we've really decided to hit this way. Let's talk about why. Why do you think this is a better way for us? I feel like it's going to narrow our focus.
Right. It's going to make us see which ones are actually obtainable in a 3 month span, and what we need to adjust on for the next 3 months, or what we need to refocus on.
Yes, I agree. I agree completely. So let's talk about what we're doing on, and we're looking at 5 things. So 5 big items that we're looking on. And number 1, we have to do a wood system for wood. And the reason we're looking at wood right now is because we have firewood. Mm-hmm. We are wanting to be able to harvest our own. The problem is getting it out of our woods is going to be a chore.
Right, unless we get one of those type of tools.
Yes, unless we get a tool. So Aaron's got to figure out how he's going to do it, if he's going to need extra hands, getting enough of that wood down to actually make sure we have enough firewood to cover us for the years. Because he's seeing how much wood we're actually using right now, so he knows we're going to need quite a bit, and it needs to sit out and season. So he's got to get the wood out of the woods, out into the field to season for the year before actually being able to split it and everything else, which we knew we needed a wood splitter. We've already looked into that. We already kind of know which direction we're going with that. So that's not a problem at all. Wood chips. This is Aaron's big project this quarter.
Yeah, so this one here is all the wood chips we got for the trees cut down. That was next to power lines, those pines that were, 50 feet tall or whatever. For them, I need to transport them all and put down cardboard and put the wood chips on top of it in areas to keep grass down, to get poison ivy down, anything like that.
So we have a couple of big areas. So we have our grapevine area. Mm-hmm. We have the area behind the chicken coop. We have the smaller garden area. What do you call that, though?
I call it small garden.
The smaller garden area. We also have some other berry vines that if we can get it down to those areas, we're just going to have to see how far we can push it. But it would be great to get them down there as well, because the further we could take it, the better off we would be, because that's less work I have to do.
Right.
So we want to push this as far as we can. But those 3 areas, just those 3 areas alone eat up so much of my time.
Right. So that's what we're doing to try to combat the maintenance in those areas.
And also between the fencing of the garden, we have a 4-foot area in our garden because we do a double fence method. Mm-hmm. That double fence method really does help keep our deer population controlled. A lot of people don't talk about this. They don't realize just how much a double fence method actually helps. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to have a lot of space between your fences. We only have 3 to 4 feet on most of ours, and it doesn't go all the way around. It's just on the back of the side. But I will tell you, since we've put that fence up, we have not had a deer in our garden.
Yep.
At all.
Right.
And it has helped tremendously, because we had deer in our garden
all the time,
every day.
Yeah.
probably herds of deer in our garden.
Mm-hmm.
I had thousands of blossoms, and then I had no blossoms. So really working on getting that area down, because maintaining that area, being able to get to the gooseberries and all of the other berry vines in that area is important. And that's that's a big job for Aaron. It's a really big job for Aaron. The chicken and duck coop. So we were going to build one until we had a hard discussion. Well, not really a hard discussion. We looked at each other and said, does it really make financial sense to have turkeys if we could get turkeys as cheap as we can buy them? This is the kind of discussion you have when you're frugal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we eat enough chicken that it makes sense. And we love duck. Look, we love duck.
Mm-hmm.
That it really does make financial sense for us to raise duck, because we could eat duck every week.
Mm-hmm.
We really could. And we can't afford to buy duck every week because it's like $40 in our area for a duck like that size. Like, they're extremely expensive. So it does not make financial sense. But it does make financial sense for us to do meat birds eventually when we get there. But we were looking, and we have this area already fenced in. Already, for the most part, predator proof. We need to put some fencing on the outside to make sure nobody can dig on the outside. But if they were to dig on the outside, they'd have to go from the outside to the inside. The inside is fully fenced in. And it's got a building attached to it. It would just need some adjustments. So, for the most part, it wouldn't be hard to turn it into a duck and chicken coop.
It's still going to take a lot of work.
It's going to take a lot of work, but not a huge amount of work. Not a huge amount. It's not going to be...
She's forgetting about some areas of it.
Some area of it, it's going to take some work. But it's not going to be it's not going to be the massive undertaking it was to get to where it is now.
Right.
It is not going to be a massive undertaking from building from scratch.
No.
And it's also not going to be the expense of building from scratch.
Well, the expense part that is right.
Because it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take some time. And this is the one where it might actually bleed over into quarter two.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever we do, the pond system that we set up will have to be able to be winterized. I will want it set up automatically to be winterized. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not winterizing before winter. We're just going to get it ready to go and have it set up to go, because that's just what we're doing. I like to pre-think about these things, because we know we get cold enough that water's going to freeze. So I like to set up anything where if the water's going to freeze, especially because the ducks need water, they need to be able to be in water. I need to make sure that they have access to water, and they don't, because getting electricity up there would be extremely hard. And we don't really like having those heated waters around. We've seen a lot of people have issues with that, and also it's just not the way we like to roll. So when we get that ready, the next thing we are looking at is our finances.
Yes. So from frugality standpoint, it, is trying to figure out a way to cut our monthly budget by 5%
Yes.
a month.
Aaron first said 10%. I said, let's start slow. Let's start slow.
I'm always going for bigger goals.
No, he's not. No, he is not.
Yes,
Go back.
Maybe not financially.
Go back and look. Go back and look and look and see. He did not think we could save as much as we saved.
No, I didn't.
He did not think we could save as much as he saved. And he did not think I could hit my grocery budget.
Right.
So, 5% is our goal.
5% a month.
5% a month between all categories. I think we could do this. I think we could actually exceed this. So, what's that dollar amount?
$165.
$165. That doesn't sound like a lot of money, and that's squeezy pennies. So we're looking at electricity. So, and this is going to be spread out. So we're also going to be looking at getting a new freezer. The new freezer would might cut out a lot of that. I do have a few turkeys I gotta get in the canner. Because we did buy a couple more, and we might be buying a couple more if we catch them on sale. So we have a lot of those things, but we're definitely looking at. I'm really trying to get us as good on our electricity costs as possible. I'm really trying to cut down our electricity use as much as possible. I've been trying to make sure lights are off. Anything that's unplugged that needs to be unplugged is unplugged. Aaron's been really good about that, but we have been really hyper focused, especially this winter season, on being as buttoned up as much as possible. And even looking at, do we need to get different blinds to go over the windows that are a little bit more snug that will help keep in the heat or the cool a bit better. We're just trying to think outside the box. I will say what we did, it's not super attractive, but we added these fan light bulbs to our hallway.
It's if you've seen like the infomercials on
Yes.
them, it is one of those, and oh my gosh, at the amount
of heat it pushes.
Well, we use it to push heat right now, but the fan speed on that thing is amazing. Like, and it is crazy good.
When we look at our electricity cost right now, it's next to nothing, and we only turn the fans on when we get to temperature on the stove.
The wood stove.
On the wood stove. So the fans only run when we get to temperature. So when we hit about 400, 450, I flip everything on, and then we flip it all off at night. Mm-hmm. Sometimes if we're still it still feels a little bit warm at night, I'll leave it on just to keep the temperature rolling. But for the most part, it pushes heat. Mm-hmm. That little thing pushes the heat, and we want to get another one for the back part of the house to help circulate the air as well. Yep. So you would not believe how much circulation a little fan will do.
And those in the summertime, if you're looking for, something where you have a light bulb that goes straight down, that you can put that in, it's going to push air.
It will push air. Like we were even talking about just using it to help circulate air in the house, mm-hmm. because fans circulate so much air. They really do. Side hustles.
$1,000 a quarter.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot less than we had last year.
Mm-hmm. It was $1,000 a month last year.
$1,000 a month. Aaron was lofty.
I was lofty. I was very lofty. But I mean, it's basically you and the eBay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
We have a few other ideas out there. We're floating around. We think we can possibly do, but we have to see what the first quarter brings.
Right. So, maybe some more social media as well, for all the Canny Couple stuff, from Canny Couple Picking, and maybe a new one coming as well. Hope to have it set up in the week.
Yeah. He has so many ideas. He's my idea man. He is. He's so many ideas. I love that fact that he has so many ideas. Just as long as he keeps, he doesn't pull me into so many of them. So that's where we are financially. I think we can do it. That seems very reasonable, and that's, I feel like, where a lot of people get sucked into this goal thing. They think, like, I'm going to cut my finances 50%. Can you? Can you cut your finances 50%?
You got to be very...
Now, I could cut our grocery budget to $150. I could do it. I could cut my grocery budget to $100 a month.
Yeah.
And we'd be comfortable.
Probably. We'd be eating more off the garden stuff and more fruits and veggies.
We'd be eating rice and beans.
Well,
Isabel'd be happy. She'd be happy as a lamb.
She's telling us right now to fix rice and beans.
She is. She's like, rice and beans. Rice and beans. So that is my first meal off the pantry challenge is rice and beans because I'm being told I want rice and beans.
Yeah.
So we'd be having rice and beans, spaghetti, things like that. Very basic meals,
And
but you could do it.
yeah. But I mean, that sort of leads into those basic meals, the last goal.
The last goal is get me healthy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. We're trying to figure out what's wrong. Get me pat. Like right now, a good day is me functioning at 40%. Is 40%. We need to get me functioning back at 100%. But 40% is a good day for me, and that's at the morning. 40% for me in the morning. And I hate sharing that because it's hard for me to share that. It's hard for Aaron to hear and see that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of where we are right now. But we're trying to get me there. We're working on it. We're doing all the things that we can be doing to get me there. And like I said, everything is showing up good. Everything's showing up great. So we're not quite sure what is causing it, but we just know something's not quite right.
Right.
So that's where we are. But we do know this doesn't seem like a lot compared to the past.
A lot fewer goals.
But we've been getting overwhelmed.
Right. And, you know, the last one sort of plays into all the others as well.
It does.
So, I mean, if you're at 10% one day, me getting the wood chips done isn't going to happen that day.
Because I need him more in the house.
Yep.
I need him more in the house. I need him to help me with the little one a little bit more. Mm-hmm. It might be all I can do is handle the little one that day because sometimes that's all I can handle. So that's kind of where we are. We're sort of playing off of each and every single day and managing that. And when we get these knocked off, we can add something else.
Right.
That's the goal. Knock something off, add something else, another list. Because the goal is to get us out of maintenance, get us more hands-free so we can start building and progressing and really start making decisions. Because I feel like right now we're kind of in a holding phase because we don't quite know what we want to do with some of these areas on the homestead. Well, he does. He's like, I could make decisions.
I can make decisions of that all the time. You might not like those decisions.
I know. I don't want to make the wrong decision because we've made so many bad ones.
Do it. Let's go.
And that's why we've made bad decisions.
It is.
It's why we make so many bad decisions. Like for me, a decision I would make, I would do the front yard.
Mm.
And we've talked about that. That would be a decision I make. That's a good decision. I think it's a great decision to go ahead and get the front yard started and make that. That would be one that would get us further, get us more food production and all that. But when it comes to like our flat areas of land, I have a harder time biting the bullet and saying, yeah, let's put up a high tunnel. So how do you feel 2024 went, and how do you feel about 2025?
2024, we were in the maintenance mode on the homestead a lot. Financially, our goals there were exceeded. Side hustle wise,
we did good.
It took us a while to get going back because you had to get us back to the top seller status on eBay. You had to, build that back up. And then, after it got going to that point again, we've seen changes.
Yes, we've seen a lot of changes.
So, I mean, stuff like that, we know there's work ahead, but right now it's not the priorities.
No. Well, I'm trying.
Right.
I'm trying to manage as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like financially we killed it.
Yeah.
We killed it. We did really, really well. I feel like we made progress, which is what we wanted. We actually moved forward. We got out of, just the, humdrum mode, and we actually moved forward. But I would like to see where not just weed eating all the time, like all my time is ate up with weed eating every single day or weeding all the time.
Yep.
I would like to be able to, just walk with Isabel and maybe pull a few weeds around the homestead and pick some stuff and do some stuff and make, because I'm going to have to process food throughout the year. I'm not going to be able to wait, because if we go to a smaller freezer,
Yep.
I'm not going to have the freezer space to wait
Right.
next year. So that's the other part of it. We're going to have to take that into account. And then this year, I don't know. What do you think of this year?
What?
I
Our
said,
goals?
yeah. What do you think of our goal this year?
The 5.
Yeah. How do you feel?
The wood chip one. I need that equipment before.
You need that equipment.
Because the 5-gallon buckets carrying wood chips up and down the driveway. It's.
I know. We're going to get you. I'll get you whatever tools I can get, and I'll call everybody.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's just not. If we're
It's
trying to hit timelines, it's we can't do it that way.
No, we can't. I know. But how do you feel? If we get you the equipment, we get you some people to help, how do you feel? Do you think we can do it?
I think we can do the finances, the wood chips, build the place for the wood. I don't know if
I'm talking about pull wood out.
I don't know if we'll have time for that. But, stuff like that. Depending upon the weather.
Depends on the weather. It really does. That's the thing that scares me the most about the chicken coop, the weather, because it really is dependent. I think we can get like the bare bones of the chicken coop ready, because we've kind of got to pull some things out.
Right.
We've got to pull some fence posts out and get that ready, and that's the only thing I'm really worried about there, and getting it kind of down to bare bones to see what's in there, and get it cleaned out. But other than that, we can get it started.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if you got any comments, questions, anything you want to hear in a future episode, you can either leave that down below or send it over to thecannycouple@yahoo.com. And
as always, thank you for joining us on Rural Reliance with the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a great day.